Today, President Trump brought his push for a wall to the Texas border on day 20 of the government shutdown. The president met with Border Patrol agents on the front lines down in McAllen. He's been trying to portray the border as being overrun by migrants, drugs, and human trafficking.
A lot of the crime in our country is caused by what's coming through here. They need the barriers. Because the people that are coming in, the criminals, the gangs.
The president warned if Democrats won't compromise on funding for the wall, he could declare a national emergency. And that would theoretically allow him to go around Congress and use military money to pay for it. However, any such decision would likely face congressional and legal challenges. Some supporters down in McAllen welcomed the president today, but others protested against his visit and against building the wall. Our border reporter Oscar Margain was there with both groups today, and tonight he shows us how one family says the president literally holds their livelihood in his hands.
Greeted by his supporters, President Trump arrived to the Texas-Mexico border on day 20 of the partial government shutdown over funding for a border wall. An issue that not only has the president and congressional Democrats at odds, but his critics and his supporters.
I actually believe from a spiritual perspective that President Trump has an assignment on behalf of the United States of America.
Mission resident and realtor Margain hopes the president's visit with local officials helps bring everyone a step closer to ending the gridlock in the country.
My heart is here to say, yes, I'm pro President Trump, whatever brings our borders more security, less porousness, and keeps our finances taking care of our nation first, I'm for that.
But for 69-year-old Fred Cavazos, talk of a wall means
everybody's losing property.
A border wall project set to start in February with funds appropriated by Congress last year will leave Fred's 64-acre land and all 30 of his lots he rents along the edge of the Rio Grande in no man's land.
We live here all our lives, so this is how we make a living.
Do you have any other place to go?
No.
Fred's sisters help him manage the properties they've inherited since the Spanish land grants. They prefer to see more manpower than a wall.
This land was, sacrificed, worked for by my grandma, and she fought for this land and paid for it little by little, selling tortillas, selling whatever.
It was the spirit.
Margain says she understands there's no easy solution to such a divisive issue.
That's hard, especially if someone's been there for decades, family ranches, things that they feel the crunch of that. My desire is that they be fairly and properly compensated.
But as history has taught the Cavazos family, who have lost property to eminent domain before, proper compensation is something that people living along the border will have to fight for if a wall is to cut through their land. Finding another way of living, is that really an option?
No, not really. But what else can you do? They're forcing us to do this.
In Mission, on the Texas-Mexico border, I'm Oscar Margain, reporting.